back. SEC football media days in Tampa. We hit the road yesterday afternoon, back in our home studios. And unlike other years, Barry, I don't feel like I was in Tampa for a month. I don't know. Maybe it was just the scenery, the atmosphere, the plush surroundings, the tropical Tampa weather. I don't know, but it just seemed more pleasant this year than years past.
That's because you're normally grumpy as heck, man. Jeez, what? Who's that guy? Let's see. Man, they ain't got the coffee out.
You didn't get one of those from me. I thought not one time did I nudge you and go, "Look at this guy." I don't think I did that one time down there.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I think he was fully engaged. Is the thing. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It is Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light. And John and I were very busy. Gosh, if you tally it up at the end of the week, we must have or will have had about 14 SEC Media Days centric interviews. There's some good news involved. We hope you enjoyed our coverage down there in Tampa, but it continues. They've got a big day today. Of course, it goes through Friday, right?
No, I think it wraps up this afternoon.
It wraps up. That's right. Wow. This afternoon. Last night they had the big goodbye party and everything. Missed that.
Yeah.
But today they wrap it up with a bit of a bang. I like it. You cannot tell me that they didn't do it this way on purpose.
Okay.
In the morning today, it's Arkansas and LSU. In the afternoon, it's Mississippi State and Texas today.
Yeah, that was scheduled for a reason. If they had Arkansas and Mississippi State this afternoon, I would say 80% of the attendees that are still there would be gone.
I'm telling you, if it were, and John already knew where I was headed on this, and he's exactly right. If it was LSU and Texas this morning, Lane Kiffin, Steve Sarkisian, former coaching staff amigos in the morning, and of course Kiffin is going to draw a ton this morning. And then this afternoon, it was Arkansas and Mississippi State. At lunchtime, John could not pull a fire alarm and get that place to empty out any quicker than it would have emptied out if we had just gotten done with LSU and Texas and have Arkansas State and media and Mississippi State, and the media has a chance to get out of there early.
Yeah,
that's smart thinking, boys.
Yeah, they know how to they know how to plan it and to space it out. So I will definitely give them credit for that. And as I said yesterday, I don't know. I just think that this year's event just went off without a hitch. I thought it flowed very well. I thought how they had the teams coming in on the days that they came in was planned out really well. I got to tell you, personally, I like it when they have Auburn and Alabama or Alabama and Auburn on back-to-back days. It makes it easier for us, particularly from a scheduling and traveling standpoint. So I certainly appreciate that. I hope they continue to do that.
Yes.
I can't remember a year it wasn't like that, where Auburn and Alabama weren't on back-to-back days. I don't know if they do that on purpose. If they do, great. Keep it up. But,
if they put Auburn, for instance, on Monday and put Alabama on Thursday, will we hang out for the whole time? I don't know. But the other good news is that you will see still a lot of our coverage of SEC Media Days.
Oh, yeah.
We are loaded up with interviews that we have recorded, that we still have not gotten out there to you yet. Some really good stuff, if I do say so myself.
I think so too, Barry. I think our viewers and listeners are going to enjoy it. Marty Smith and, of course, Ryan McGee. From Marty and McGee, we actually interviewed those gentlemen separately, which I thought was interesting. So it wasn't they were both there together like you see on the show, and of course they've been a part of the sport for many years. So I think you'll enjoy that. Also, Benjamin Watson, Barry, the former Georgia tight end, he went on to play in the NFL. I didn't know what to expect from Benjamin, and I was very pleased and really overwhelmed. I thought the guy was just incredible, really about his personal life more than sports.
Yeah, and same thing when we had Damian Harris on. Well, go to Damian Harris and played him back yesterday. Sharp kid. The thing is that you look at Damian Harris and you look at Benjamin Watson and you think, why did those guys retire? Because, I mean, Benjamin Watson, I'm not small. He's sitting beside me, and I'm thinking, man, if I had a 3rd down and 7 that I had to make, he's like 41 years old, and I'm still looking for him. That guy is a mountain.
Yeah.
And very, very sharp. We like that. We felt like we were kind of in the epicenter of it all because of 2 things. Our location was, I've got to tell you, it's the best it's ever been. And it's the first time we've been in Tampa, but I'm talking about the logistics around.
Yeah, our broadcast location. Yeah, very nice.
If you want for 2 reasons. Number one, if you want foot traffic, if you want to see your buddies or somebody say, hey, yeah, can you come on be with us a few minutes? The most foot traffic on Digital Drive is at the bathroom. That's just the way it is. Everybody's going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
At some point. And number 2,
Yeah.
sometimes during the show, you got a commercial break and you need to take a moment.
Very nice.
It's right there. I loved that part of it too.
Of the where Digital Drive was set up, it was kind of in an L-shaped.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, is this the only restroom on Digital Drive? Because it was a long
I didn't see enough
gauntlet of broadcasters. I thought, I wonder if there's one at the other end of this hallway.
Yeah,
but it was right next to us, and we really appreciate that. It made it very convenient for us as well. So that was nice.
It was, it was great. I really enjoyed it. It is continuing. John and I are back. And I was going to bring this up, but I'll let Bob from Pike Road bring it. My takeaways from yesterday, we had a terrific interview. Goodness, I got a lot of response. I know John must have as well, about our interview with Alabama defensive back Zabian Brown, who joined us yesterday. Sharp as a tack. That kid's bound to have a good year. He's currently got a lot of expectations. His team needs him to have a good year, and I suspect he will. But other than Zabian, we saw Bray Hubbard a little bit. He was being interviewed. But other than that, Bob from Pike Road's right. He said the broker of mediocre was on full display yesterday. He presents himself as just a hair above average, which is funny because he doesn't have any hair. What a sad state of affairs. That's the other thing about it. Other than Zabian Brown, who represented his university really well, John, and with John Sumrall and the University of Florida Gators, and the campus is less than 2 hours. Well, it's 2 hours away from Tampa. Alabama did not have a bunch of presence there. There was not a great deal of sizzle for the Crimson Tide yesterday, at least nowhere close to like we're used to.
Yeah. I got a quick story, Barry. This will not shock you.
Okay.
Because you've seen it happen before.
It will not shock me that this will not be a quick story.
Yeah. Before I get to it, though, to what I was hearing from a lot of other media members yesterday, and you heard it as well, and Bob, here's what we were hearing. Where's the buzz? There was no buzz about Alabama arriving yesterday. Under the radar was a term that I heard. Nick Saban even said it on the SEC set yesterday, that Alabama is under the radar. Why is that? Because of the way they played the last time they put the helmets on in Pasadena, where their recruiting ranking is, whatever it may be. But the buzz wasn't there. And we all know when Saban would roll in, it was like Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones showed up. I mean, there were police officers, there were security details, there were handlers all around Saban. And, it was like a big deal. Cameras were following every move he made. Yesterday, Barry, after we wrapped up our live broadcast and put it in the can for everybody to consume on their schedule, I had to go up and change, put on, comb my hair and put a sport coat on to do some TV hits with Lindsey Bonner at CBS 8. And as I was coming back down to the main area, I was just kind of looking over some of my notes, and I was standing over in just kind of a corner, kind of wanting to be quiet because I was trying to figure out all the stuff that we were going to talk about and the answers I was going to give her on TV.
John's a big note taker. John's reviewing his notes. He's writing a few more things, make sure to talk about such and such. So far, this is entirely plausible, this story.
Yeah. So I round a corner to go in this little, cubby quiet area, if you will, by a door about where we're going to do some filming. And there is Kalen DeBoer and Alex, his main SID guy, yeah. And they're just kind of standing there. And when I rounded the corner, I was kind of, surprised. And I stuck my hand out and said, "Hey, Coach, I'm John Longshore from Montgomery. We've spoken several times." And he was very nice about it, and just hemming and hawing. And, of course, it's similar to Mike Shula in Birmingham many, many years ago when we talked about golf.
I was there with that one. So, Coach, how you hitting them?
I am racking my brain just quickly as I can to come up with something where he would remember me. And I said, "Coach, I'm the guy that asked you about the mullet toss at the Floribama." And he started smiling. He goes, "Oh, yeah, I remember that." And one of the first times I ever spoke to him, he had been to the mullet toss in Floribama, had never known really that Alabama had coastline and beaches. And being from the Pacific Northwest, I could see how he wouldn't know that kind of stuff. And we chatted for maybe, I don't know, a minute and a half, 2 minutes. But as I sat there, I'm thinking, this would never have happened with Nick Saban. No way. And is it just because Saban was such a, Hollywood superstar and DeBoer just hadn't gotten there yet? I don't know. But, the buzz wasn't there. They're under the radar. And today, Barry, it will be buzzing because Lane Kiffin, everybody's waiting. Everybody's waiting for Steve Sarkisian, whose team is being picked to win the SEC this year. I believe when you see that result today from the 90 media members that partake in that, they're going to pick Texas to win the league. Today, there's going to be some buzz, I would say, because of Kiffin. But yesterday, I didn't feel it.
Sumrall dominated.
I agree.
I mean, somebody's cell phone went off during the main media press conference, and he's lighting into somebody. Man, if we were in a team meeting, I'd throw you out. That stuff drives me crazy and all that. Lindsey Bonner, Lindsey was a star. I was really Lindsey Bonner. She works her head off anyway. But she asked Coach Sumrall about Troy, and he went off on a good little riff about what Troy means to him and what a special place it is. And he was. I didn't get a chance to see him because he came around to Digital Drive in the afternoon, and I was already, up I-75 by that time. But he was, part of it was because I think, like you say, Alabama did not play well at all in their last game, and they're not picked high and all that. And DeBoer, he's not a, Uncle Kalen, hey, pull my finger. Hey, Padre, and hey, Ringo, take some lessons. Not that kind of a guy. And Sumrall's not that either, but everybody was wanting to talk with Sumrall, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Kalen, God, what do we ask him? Do we ask him about the mullet toss again? No, man, that's already been asked.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing.
I thought it was interesting, Barry. And there again, we're kind of, obviously you are being around Sumrall as much as you had been, but certainly when he was at Troy and hearing you talk about him and the few times that I got to be around him, I was extremely impressed.
Oh, yeah.
Said it last December. Bama fans do not want Auburn to hire John Sumrall. Don't want that to happen. And I thought about that a lot yesterday. Man, what if Sumrall was at Auburn? Whoa. But Barry.
Now what is? Whoa, man.
I'm just thinking.
What if Sumrall was at Auburn? Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, Bama fan. I don't know if you'd like that.
Whoa.
But a couple of things struck me. Sumrall was asked about the differences of playing Ole Miss under Kiffin and Golden. And I know I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what he said. He goes, "Let me tell you, when we played the Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin, they beat the shit out of us. When we played them against Golden, they beat the shit out of us." This is in front of the entire media. I'm going, give it to us, Coach. Love it.
Yeah.
Then he gets on the stage with Saban, and Saban's talking to him, and Saban tells him, I live half the time in the state of Florida. Ron DeSantis is a great friend of mine. Something else about the state of Florida.
I'm kind of a semi-gator or something like that.
Semi-gator. He said, don't screw it up or I'm going to catch a lot of shit from all my friends. And Summerall started laughing. He thought it was hilarious. I'm thinking, first thing I thought of is that word just everyday word now? Can we just use that anytime we want to now? I guess so. I mean, I don't know. Everybody, all these other coaches are doing it.
Well, we got a lot of stuff going on, so we'll stay on schedule. Interviews coming up from yesterday and a lot more as well. We're underway on our
Rodney Orr, Tighter Insider. I know you guys on the chat line are freaking out about it.
Yep, it's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Don't you stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
Chances are there's a pack nearby. Fortunately, the same applies to beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. To avoid going in circles, make note of recognizable landmarks, like that.
What's wrong with going in circles?
Different circles, Ross.
Okay.
Head for the mountains.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you are with us here today, about 17 minutes past the hour. Hey, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. It helps us out a ton. Tell your friends and family and associates to hit them as well. And, of course, you can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, X, Spotify, iTunes, Yellowhammer News. Thanks to our good friends at Yellowhammer News that help us out each and every day, and especially during an event like SEC Media Days. Really appreciate those guys as well. Alex, Baylor, Paul, the whole crowd up there. We really appreciate those guys. Check us out at Yellowhammer News, yellowhammernews.com, and their Facebook page as well. You can check us out. Really appreciate that. And, man, thank you for hitting that like and subscribe button. Yeah, you know, the buzz, Barry, about Alabama yesterday, just didn't feel it. They talked a lot about being physical. That's another word I heard about Alabama yesterday. Got to be physical.
Well, we heard that.
You can't just turn the switch. You gotta want it. You gotta.
Yeah, Damian Harris told us that yesterday in a memorable little stretch with him, where he said it's Belichick, and Damian played for Belichick in New England. He said Belichick would say, "It ain't a pill you can take. You know, it's not a shot you can take. I mean, being physical is a mindset." People talked about Alabama and physical last year along the lines of, man, Alabama needs to be more physical. Why ain't Alabama physical? You know, this is a thing. Look, everybody's counting down towards the season, right? September 5th.
Yep.
Alabama and East Carolina. Yeah, right. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, they're good at it. Alabama's going to beat East Carolina. East Carolina's not any good.
Well, they better.
What you watch for, don't be looking at the numbers. Oh, Austin Mack gets the start. He's 11 for 14. Oh, look at this. Xavier Crowell. And by the way, we did ask Xavier Brown yesterday. Well, John did, about something, somebody who's poised for a breakout. And he thought about it for a moment. He says, well, we got this freshman running back. Don't look for his numbers and everything. My counsel to you in a game that should be a rout for Alabama, watch how hard somebody gets hit.
Yeah.
You know, watch how many licks are passed along the line of scrimmage. That's what you watch for. So
Barry, as I was coming home yesterday, I was looking at some of the content and the videos and stuff that people were posting, and I'm not real sure who this person was, some Bama guy that, follows Alabama, and they were talking about the running game. And he did a lot of research and found that Alabama, every team that Alabama played, I guess every conference team or big time opponent, I'm not sure Wofford or UT Chattanooga, whoever they played last year, fit into that category. But I'd say probably 10 of their 12 opponents last year in the regular season had a run defense ranked 25th or better. Everybody they played.
Oh, was that Cam Petway who asked the question?
I think 3 of the teams they played were in the top 5. Again, in run defense. And it was kind of coming across as, well, that's why they couldn't run the ball very well. Maybe it was a factor. Maybe it was, you had to kind of put that into the equation. But I thought that was kind of a stretch. Wait a minute. You're telling me they averaged 2.3 yards a carry because every defense they played were in the top 25 in run defense?
When they had Barrett Jones and Jonah Williams and, all those guys along the front, did it matter to them? Were those guys, was their coordinator or the offensive line coach saying, now you got to, they're a top 5 run defense. We and nobody cared about that. They'd run it anyway, right? Yeah. That's what people are looking at. Oh, I never have figured out. This bothers me sometimes about, hey, who you playing? You're playing who's in front of you. You're playing who's on the schedule. Well, how many yards did Cam Petway run for against, Vanderbilt or whatever like that? Whoever it is across from you, I mean, you're Alabama, for gosh sakes. You're not Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yeah, I thought that was a reach.
Yeah, I do too.
I didn't see that. I mean, I've seen this team play a lot of good defenses and found a way to get it done. I saw there again offensive linemen that weren't blocking very well and running backs that weren't overly explosive and that go-to kind of guy. I thought that was an interesting take.
You know what?
A lot, as a matter of fact. I mean, there's a lot of people down there that in Tampa that support or cover one team. I mentioned this to you yesterday, Bears. I was kind of walking around and checking it out. I'll say this about Auburn. They have more people down there that are a part of some website or some podcast
that cover the team. Yeah.
Something that covers Auburn by far. There were more Auburn people like that than any other school out there, down there. And I'm thinking, this team had what? It's been 5 dreadful seasons. It hadn't been great, going through a lot of coaches, and you'd think they'd won the national championship 3 out of the last 5 years. Of all the people that do, and we know the ones we know, Jason and Brian, they've been doing it for 30 years.
Oh, yeah. The Philip Marshalls and the Mark Murphys and all of those guys back in the day, the Perry Ballards of the Opelika Auburn News and all that. We knew all those guys, and we knew, but you get guys now, and I'm thinking, you remember the scene in the Titanic when it's sinking and the Titanic's orchestra?
Yeah.
Those guys, that little chamber music orchestra, those guys are still playing as it sinks. That's what those guys must have been over the last 5 years or so. Hey, listen to it. We're playing, Fur Elise or something like that. We're playing Brahms or whatever. While that thing is sinking, that's what the last 5 years must have felt like. But it's like those guys are in the orchestra and it's growing. By the time the iceberg hits, they got 5 people in that chamber orchestra playing, War Eagle. And by the time it's sinking, there's 35 of them. I'm thinking, how in the world can that industry grow?
Yeah.
when your football team has not been any good.
I wondered that, and a lot of younger. I mean, these guys were younger than us, but most people are these days. Just something you got to face, I guess. But I thought, man, for a team that has struggled the last 5 years, obviously their fan base is trying to get as much content as they can get. There were other schools. I mean, certainly there were other schools like it, but it was maybe one or two. Barry, I'm talking 4 or 5 different outlets that cover Auburn on a podcast or a website basis were there.
Let me submit this.
Okay.
Ted Nugent, by the way, he says Auburn podcasts have gotten out of hand with the numbers of them. Yeah, that's the American way. That's capitalism. If they're not any good, pretty soon, they'll shrivel up and die. Some responses. Somebody asked the question, I guess, in the main media room, or pointed out that there were top 5 run defenses against Alabama, 8 or 9 of them or whatever like that. And that had a factor in Alabama not being able to run the football. Maybe it did, John. Who knows? They ran against some good run defenses. Let me submit a couple of other reasons why Alabama didn't run the football at all last year. Way offsides, Jeff says, well, we had an offensive line that couldn't block anybody and slow running backs with a little to no vision and an offensive coordinator that didn't really like to run anyway.
Yeah.
Bob from Pike Road says, we had an offensive line that couldn't block anybody because our coaches did not practice physical day after day. We didn't teach technique and fundamentals that required physicality. That was because of coaching. That might be more of an appropriate factor, guys. You gave about 6 right there between the two of you, 6 or 7. That may have played more into Alabama's inability to run the football than the opposing team's ranking in run defense amongst FBS competition at home or whatever it was.
Barry, this I wanted to read this to you.
Okay.
I could not believe it when I was hearing it. As I read it, you're going to think I'm the person that said this. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, it's not me. But it sounds a lot like me. So if you give me a second.
Okay.
I heard this live yesterday. I have been a proponent for 10 years. So it only took us 10 years to get to this. First of all, players love to play in competitive games. Second, fans love to see competitive games. And I also think that it's important that you give even a better opportunity to prove that you're the best team, that you belong in the SEC. Saying that the SEC should require all 12 regular season games to be played against schools from major conferences, emphasizing the CFP needs a metric to measure strength of schedule. I actually think we should play 12 games against Power 5. That's it, because it's a business and people want to see those games. TV wants to have that kind of inventory to show those games. So I think that's really, really important, and I'm glad that we've gone to a 9-game schedule, and I think it'll be more interesting for the players and the fans. That was not me. I did not say
you
that.
Read that verbatim. I mean, part of that wasn't you like interjecting in the middle of it, and then you went back to quoting this thing, right? It was all somebody else?
That was all somebody else. Word for word.
Can I guess?
Yes.
Nick Saban.
I wanted to run on the stage and high-five him, but I knew the security personnel would probably run me out of the place.
Probably. You talk about Jesse and Jerome over Prince and Purple Rain. Come on. We'd have to be stuck with Morris Day on the stage the rest of the time. John tried to do something like that.
I'm thinking, am I dreaming here? Is this really being said? I mean, preach on, Coach.
I was about to talk myself out of it. I kept saying, man, it sounds like Saban to me. That must be Saban. I think I've heard Saban say that before, but there was no profanity in it. So I said, it can't be Saban. That was a pretty long thing there. But it was. And I don't agree with that. I honestly don't. I think you got to be able to make the schedule you want to make. If you look at the last 5 national champions, and I'm going to look this up later on when we have a more time. If you look at the last 5 national champions, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio State, blah, 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 and you look at their non-conference schedules, the last 5 years, you would think it's atrocious. You would think it's horrible. But that's what it took. That's what got them to the national championship. And if people are looking at that and looking for a formula, that's the formula that they're going to use.
Barry, Coach K, 21-21.
He says, I thought Coach DeBoer was very impressive yesterday. Unlike Golding, who was a dang clown. Also glad Sumrall is not in Lee County. That's from Coach 2021.
You know, I enjoyed listening to Pete Golding yesterday.
Pete Golding.
He kind of cut his hair. It wasn't all bushy. He shaved. I mean, trimmed everything up. I mean, tie looked good.
He didn't look like the bass player for Van Halen. It was a good thing for him. What's that guy's name, John?
Anthony, is it something?
Yeah, Michael Anthony.
Michael Anthony. Yeah.
He did say this, and Golding I thought was good.
I did too.
You know, I mean, if you want somebody up there just to sound like a coach, I mean, there's plenty of that. Golding, he said a couple of things. You know, of course, one of the big topics was, you know, the tampering he was accused of, or Ole Miss was accused of by Dabo when they signed this guy out of Clemson, this linebacker that's supposed to be really good. Where was that? He said, about tampering. He said, look, when you're riding down the highway and they're passing you by, there's, you know, they're speeding, you're going the speed limit, and everybody's passing you by like you're standing still. What do you do? All the audience says, speed up. Golding says, you speed up or you're going to get hit. He said, let's not act like recruiting in college football the last 100 years is the most moral thing, right? The current model obviously has been broken. I'm all for everybody being on the same playing field and doing the same things, end quote. That's what Golding said. He said, if everybody's passing by you and all this transfer portal stuff and, hey, they're tampering with this guy or they're getting somebody, you know, under the table from a fourth party or a fifth party and everything, what do you do when you're getting blown by in the passing lane?
Yeah.
You do it yourself. You try to keep up with them. So what he is saying is, oh, yeah, I did it. But everybody else is doing it too. You know, which if Mama Golding was there and he was 14 years old and she said, why in the world did you think it was a great idea to try to ride your bicycle over that creek with that ramp? Well, all my buddies were doing it. Well, if all of your buddies jumped off the Empire State Building, if you don't like that stuff, if you would like a coach to stand up there with slicked back hair and a well-knotted tie and a perfectly creased lapel and go over how you need to really accentuate covering the A gap on 3rd down and 5, Golding probably ain't your guy. I'll submit to you that the SEC Media Days is probably not your thing either. So I like somebody, and I know John does too, somebody a little bit different, somebody who comes in with a little bit of a different angle.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me more Pete Golding.
That's what attracts me. I mean, listen to Sumrall describe playing Ole Miss yesterday. That's what I want to hear. Will Stein, Steen, is it Stein or Steen? Will Stein talking about Kentucky's going to be better because of me. What? Whoa. Okay. All right. I mean, he's a little sure of himself. Okay. Got to deliver. And I don't have a problem with that. Kiffin usually gives you a good sound bite as well. I thought Golish, compared to the last 3 Auburn coaches, was very refreshing. We actually heard something. He talked. He went on and on. He didn't give us short, quick answers. I thought Golish was interesting to listen to. But DeBoer, I don't know if I would say, Coach, that he was very impressive yesterday. I just think it was your normal Kalen DeBoer. You know, DeBoer's never too high or never too low. And even when you saw him on the sidelines from time to time get on an official or scream and holler, I almost felt like it was manufactured. That somebody told him, you got to be more animated on the sidelines. To me, DeBoer's just always one level, which is not a bad thing.
Not a bad
thing. His emotions don't get him, going one way or the other. But
it ain't going to get everybody all flighty and ruffling their skirts in the 1,000 members of the SEC Media Days. He, talk about Golding. He's just real folks. He's just speaking of that when we come back. We're talking real folks here. We're talking Marty Smith from Marty and McGee, SEC Network. Love that guy. He was there yesterday. We talked with Marty Smith. We'll pass along that interview when we return on Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat, and crab claws.
Media Days, Tampa, you know this,
oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. You know, many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272.
Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitcher's duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Get some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Big news for Central Alabama travelers. Getting to Texas just got easier. You can now fly nonstop from Montgomery to Houston with United Airlines. No long drives, no layovers, just smooth direct travel from your hometown airport. Whether it's business or a weekend getaway, Houston is now just one flight away. Spend more time there and less time getting there. Fly nonstop to Houston. Fly MGM, where travel feels easy. Book your trip today at flymgm.com.
Welcome back to SEC Football Media Days, Tampa. You know this face. I'm in Marty Smith, SEC Network, ESPN. He's all over the place. Marty and McGee. How you doing, my friend?
Man, this week is crazy. I'll tell you, though, there's so much fulfillment in it for Ryan and me because while so many of you guys are kind of covering the day-to-day, what each coach is saying at the day is at the podium, we get the great blessing of sitting down with each coach and about a dozen star players and diving into 20-minute conversations about them as people and the obstacles they manage. We were just talking to Alex Golish 5 minutes ago before I came on with you guys and about being a parent and taking your kids back to your roots and letting them see what built you. And I just love that kind of stuff. It's very rich and amazing, and we get to do that with all 16 coaches, and we sat down with the commissioner yesterday. He's right across the way from us there about everything on his plate. I wouldn't want to be the commissioner of damn anything, I can tell you that.
Well, if you'll indulge us then in that line of thinking, do you ever have a moment, anyway, but do you ever have a moment to reflect when you were covering high school sports in Roanoke, Virginia for the local paper there, what you've been able to do? I mean, you've covered the Masters, for gosh sakes. You've interviewed Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, and that ain't bad for somebody, who was probably happy as pie to be covering the high school game for the local paper in Roanoke, right?
I was, and full of gratitude for that opportunity and every opportunity. It's hard for me to take a minute and pause and really be present and sit in that. We live in a business, you guys know this, it's kind of next. But since I've become a parent, now my son is 20 and my daughters are 17 and 14, but I've been very intentional about presence with them. So when I'm with them, I try to just be exactly right there with open ears and a closed mouth so that I can learn what's going on in their lives. And that thereby has allowed me to be much more have greater reflection on, I cannot believe that I got to stand on the 18th green when Tiger Woods won in 2019, or the Alabama sideline for Tua in 26. I could keep going. And it's really the great blessing of other people's belief in you. You know, you can be really talented and work really hard and be intentional about your preparation. All of those things are imperative for success in our business. But it also takes that person who has the juice, for lack of a better term, saying that person, I think that person could succeed here. And they take a flyer on you and put you in that role. You know, I think about Lee Fitting, who decided I should be on College Game Day, or Mike McQuaid, who decided I should be on the Masters, et cetera, et cetera. And without their belief, you don't have that. So it's one thing to get the opportunity. It's a whole other thing to keep it. And I'm just full of gratitude for all of it, man.
Football, College Game Day, NASCAR. But tell our viewers and our listeners.
I don't know.
Tell them what it was. The patrons talk about it. The players talk about it. What was it going through your mind when you're driving down Magnolia Lane knowing I am going to be covering the Masters?
Humbling, nervous, trying my very best to position it in a way that you're leading with reverence, because that's really what I feel there. I mean, I don't even know how many years I've covered the tournament for ESPN, but every time I walk in there, I'm completely awestruck with this emotion of humility and reverence, because the thing that's so great about Augusta National Golf Club is the respect for the tradition and the reverence for the grounds permeates the patrons. If you see, here's my example all the time. If you're walking past the big scoreboard up the first fairway and there's a pimento cheese wrapper on the ground, by God, you pick it up.
Sure you
and
do.
You put it in a receptacle.
Yes.
How many times in our lives? Now, no offense to any city. If we're walking down a city street and we're not picking that same wrapper up.
No.
You know what I mean?
And the wrapper's green, but you're still picking it up.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Now, I'm an egg salad guy, Marty.
Now, do you know my super sandwich?
Oh, let me hear it.
Here we go.
So you buy a pimento cheese and you buy an egg salad.
Okay.
You tear them apart and you slap the two together.
Yes.
Holy smokes.
That sounds awful.
Oh, it sounds delicious.
I'm going to tell you, it's incredible.
Okay. All right.
Man.
All right.
Next time you're there, just give it a chance.
And it's the bread.
You'll be out about $2.
And the bread is so soft.
It is,
man.
man.
It's so good.
Yeah.
All right.
You're not covering the Masters like Nick Faldo. You're not breaking.
Right.
You're
I'm a storyteller.
Your milieu has been, let me find a story in all of this. What's the story you're looking for this event? What's the story that you think
Lane
compelling?
Kiffin.
Yeah.
The fact that I didn't finish the sentence speaks a lot about the strength of his statement there.
There is a million great stories in this conference, not just on a football level, but on a human condition level. A lot of them. I mean, I think the world of Clark Lee. Again, we just talked to Coach Golish. I know him going all the way back to when he was on Heupel's staff at Tennessee. Great man. There's just great men leading these folks. Kiff and leaving Ole Miss, national championship caliber team, to go to Baton Rouge because he felt like he had a greater chance to win a national title in Baton Rouge than he did in Oxford is just going to be a narrative this entire year. And every one of us have September 19th circled in red on our calendars because we're all going to be in Oxford, Mississippi when Kiff comes back there. Yeah. And I can promise you that Pete Golding, Trinidad Chambliss, Keywan Lacey, those guys want to dominate at home and make a point. And it's just, I mean, you guys work in media. There are certain unequivocal truths in media, and one of them is conflict sells. And Lane just thrives in chaos. He's a savant. He's an incredible football coach. But, man, he just loves to wait around in chaos.
Boy, does he.
And so that, to me, is what everyone here is waiting for, is to see how that day unfolds.
Marty and McGee, Saturdays this fall?
Saturdays this fall. Am I allowed to say this?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Saturdays this fall.
The only reason why I'm breaking in here is I'm mentioning he looked and said that was not Greg Sankey, who you mentioned earlier, was not sitting over there.
It was our great friend Katie, who does a tremendous job in our public relations
Just want to make sure everybody knows that. He must be pointing to Greg Sankey. No, he wasn't him.
But yeah,
okay, we'll just leave it at that.
Marty and McGee on Saturdays this fall. I can't begin to articulate our gratitude for, again, them giving us a platform where we can talk about commodes for an hour if we want to. It's just crazy. We're grateful.
Hey, we do that too, actually.
You and Ryan, it both gives the sense that you guys could come tootling in on the back of a fruit truck into any one town. You guys could jump off and then, all right, fellas, what's this all about? And within 15, 20 minutes, you can find a good story out of anything.
We can. And that just comes with time and repetition. And as it pertains specifically to him and me, it's our friendship. I mean, we've been buddies for 25 years, and we're very different people, but, man, does it work.
It does work.
Boy. Yes. Always a pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you guys
Thank you so much.
Really
appreciate your time as
time.
always.
Thank
you.
you.
There you go.
All right, Marty Smith here joining us from SEC Football Media Days. We're going to take a quick time out. Back with more. Don't you go anywhere in Tampa, Longshore and McKnight. Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information. Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with one of their clinics and take advantage of physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solution services. Get back in the game, get back to work, and get back to life with Phoenix Physical Therapy. To find a location near you and to schedule an appointment, go to phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. That's phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. Hey, you want your property looking its very best this spring and summer, and River Region Straw has premium long-needle pine straw to make that property pop. You're not buying sticks, stems, or pine cones. You're buying premium long-needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the region, full of color that will last all season long. And now River Region Straw has a fourth location in Chelsea on Highway 280 to go along with their locations here in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn. No order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. To get your River Region Straw, drop by any of their four locations or give Kenny a call or text today. 669-5959. That's 669-5959. And have the best looking property this spring and summer with straw from River Region Straw. Okay, back at it here. It is about 12 minutes or so to the top of the hour. Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, will join us at the top of hour number 2. Hope you enjoyed our interview with Marty Smith as much as we did. Just a down-home, genuine man. And the guys, it's so fun to talk to.
I wanted to ask, but, we're busy getting ready for the next interview we had to do and everything. And John was was, thanking Marty over on the side. I kind of figured John would do that, but he didn't. When Marty Smith says he's asking the young lady who is, for lack of a better word, his handler.
Yep.
She's the one that says, okay, time to go. We got to wrap this up. He's got another one, and she'll take him over to the next one and all that. He's looking up at her, and he says, I want to tell you this. Can I say this? And she goes, and he goes, oh, okay. Well, hey, Marty and McGee, don't forget to watch. Marty and McGee, don't forget to watch this, da-da-da. And I wanted John to come in after, hey, man, what was that what was that you were going to tell us? I won't say anything.
I did not ask him that, Barry, but my guess is that they're going to be in a different time slot. I don't know that. Don't go out and report it, anybody. I just got the sense, because when I mentioned Saturdays with Marty and McGee, and I think he was about to say, yeah, we're on at a new time. He didn't say it. I'm just guessing.
That's unofficial. That's just John's conjecturing here. Good question from Dennis Mitchell. They always are.
Knew this was coming.
Hi, John and Barry. What is the biggest surprise at SEC Media Days? I don't think it's happened yet. I think this morning is the morning.
Yeah, it could be.
With LSU and with Lane Kiffin. This is what I thought. I know it's a long way. It's a long way away, but I thought, there were a ton of Auburn people there, a ton of Auburn media there. There was a goodly number of Alabama media. That I was kind of surprised by that. The Texas schools. Right across from us, on the other side, was a Texas a radio station from Texas A&M, from College Station, Brian. Other than that, I didn't see much from the Texas schools.
And maybe that'll be today. And the thing about it is there's a lot of coming and going. A lot of people
everybody's not
come
there
to cover their school, so to speak. I know some of the Auburn people that were there, they left after Golish left. They were done. Alabama people, they're done. And that's kind of the thing that we like about it, because the Auburn and Alabama have been on back-to-back days, so we can kind of get in and do what we want to do and need to do and get everything, and don't have to kind of stay there the whole week, because it can drag on and get long, and it's you're going crazy. It's like you're pedaling the bike as fast as you can, and then there's a slowdown period till you go to the next thing, and you go, well, what am I going to do for the next 2 hours till I got to wait for this? So there's a lot of that throughout when you make it the entire week. So I certainly get it, but the biggest surprise, there weren't any like, whoa, that's surprise. I think it was pleasant surprises. And we said it while we were there. I just thought how it was set up, how it was put on. I think the SEC did a great job. Some older people, Barry, didn't like the fact it was in Tampa. Too far away, too expensive, whatever.
Somebody who shall remain nameless actually said, I just want it to be in Birmingham.
Yeah, that's in the center of the conference. So what? Birmingham's great. My daughter lives there. I don't want to go back to Birmingham.
Yeah, my son lives in Trussville. Birmingham.
Yeah. The event outgrew Birmingham.
Birmingham is not big enough for the event.
We noticed that, Barry, when we were there. This event's gotten too big for Birmingham. When ESPN and the SEC network got involved, we were stepping over each other. It was just too crowded.
Yeah.
Now there's more room. They can space it out. Everybody's got their own little area. And I think it's neat that, they are taking it and exposing it to different regions of the SEC. I think that the SEC was there. Commissioner Sankey says Nashville's been ringing his phone off the hook for years for them to come back. I'm sure Atlanta wants it again. I would think there's other markets in the SEC footprint that are going to want this event. I'm great that we're going back to Nashville next year. Nashville's a hopping town. There is a lot going on in Nashville.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, Broadway has completely the construction is done, completed, and over. Last time we were there, man, it was hard to get around.
It was.
It ain't going back to Birmingham.
Yeah, and I'm good with that.
I just don't see that happening.
I'm definitely good with that because, gosh, it'd been there for forever. I do wonder about how much economic impact having it there. Nashville's ringing them off the hook. I don't doubt it. I know it'll be nice, for everybody in the southeastern portion of the United States to have a segment where they say, hey, we're live in Nashville, Tennessee, just like they say, hey, we're live in Tampa, Florida for SEC Media Days. There is that buzz and that but face it, other than the hotel rooms, there's a bunch of people needing a bunch of hotel rooms for a lot of nights. Other than the hotel rooms, there's not, those guys, especially when you have, catered in lunch at the event. They had some special, it's like a freshman mixer or something like that, or, something at the frat house where everybody, shoots the breeze afterwards and all that. And they feed you. They had a big party last night. They had a big party the night before and everything. These people are pinching pennies. The restaurants may do an okay business, but a lot of these guys are not, independently wealthy. They're very creative with the expense account. None of them are big tippers. I'll go ahead and say that right now. The people in our business, except for me and John, are lousy tippers. I just wonder about the economic impact of having it in Tampa. I know the hotel rooms are full and all that.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's not,
Barry, you're right. I don't know how much people are going out and whining and dining because the league has done a good job of feeding. Lunch is provided every day. There's a snack mid-afternoon. There's events at night. I can't remember ever partaking in one of the nighttime events because I like to go do my own thing at night.
I do too.
But I will say this, Barry, Mike Griffith, who joined us yesterday, love that guy.
He's a big surprise. He's the biggest surprise of the SEC Media Days. Did you see that suit?
Yeah.
I was so impressed.
Very nice.
Got it at Dillard's.
She did get it at Dillard's. He
Check
sure
him over
did.
at Eastdale Mall.
And if you want to rent his condo, he gave you the info for that as well. But I felt this way for a long time. And Griff brought it up yesterday. One of the biggest values I get out of media days, it's not so much hearing what the coaches say.
Hey, Barry, do you remember back whenever Ryan Silverfield said they're going to really work on getting the fullback more involved in the offense? No, I don't remember. And, it don't matter. We're not going to sit here and break down the Alabama defensive tendencies in the first game. No. That's not what it's for. You're right.
I can remember some of the great interviews that you and I have conducted with players and coaches and media members. That I do remember those. But to me, Barry, this event, as Mike said yesterday, is just about, getting reacquainted with friends and associates and chatting for 5 minutes and shaking their hand and how you doing? And man, what do you think about the season and what'd you do in the off season? It's just, strengthening those relationships that you formed through SEC Media Days. And whether it's getting people to come on our program, it's a lot easier because they know us. We've talked to them. We've formed a friendship and a relationship with them for over 30 years. And that's what business is about. That's when you hear, hey, well, the Acme Widget Company is having a convention for all their employees in South Beach, Miami. They ain't doing it because they're launching some new product. They're doing it so these people can mingle and talk and connect and make connections and all that type thing. And I think Media Days offers a lot of that as well.
I think the smartest thing the SEC did, and I'm not kidding about this, the smartest thing the SEC did, it's kind of multi-layered, the press credential, the media credential, they had security guys around there. Evidently, it's been a problem.
Yep.
Security guys around there. Hey, you got your credential? John. You know me. I'm wearing my credential all the time. I had it on. I took it off when we were on camera on day 2. I totally forgot I had it on during our first day out there. John, he won't wear his credential unless he absolutely has to. But the best part about it is the credential. Number one, it's got the 2 holes, one on either side, so your credential can't flip over, where the guy has to keep saying, hey, can you flip your credential? Yeah, it's me. You know, so it's always facing forward. It has your face on it, so you can't give it away to your buddy so he can do it. Best thing they did, though, it says it has a picture of you on the credential. I wish I had it with me. I'd show you mine with your face on it. And it says in big letters, Barry McKnight, and smaller letters, Longshore and McKnight. Why is that big? Because when John's out there schmoozing and everything, like when our show's over or when he's waiting to escort a guest over to our thing while I'm, getting all the microphones ready and stuff, somebody will come up and say, hey, John, remember me? And John will flick those eyes real quick. Oh, yeah. Corey, yeah. Hey, man. Oh, it's great to see. Back in the day, you couldn't do that. John would be like, hey, buddy, man, how you been? Gosh, this is great to see you again. Yeah, man, I remember. Well, boy, we had some great times, huh? Yeah. Now John can look at it. It's like this big, and it says Corey Jones. And John's like, Corey Jones, my guy, how are you? I thought about that, and I'm thinking, what a blessing that is for John.
But Barry, you gotta be stealth-like, because you don't want Corey to see you looking at his name tag. He immediately knows this guy doesn't know who I am.
That's like certain girls when you see them on the beach or something like that, and they say, "Hey, look, my eyes are up here." Yep. Oh, yeah. I was no, that kind of a thing.
Now, quickly before we go to break and bring in Rodney Orr, the Tighter Insider, I knew Dennis was going to come back with this. Dennis, I hate to tell you, this is not about the fans.
Dennis says SEC media should be for the fans, a.k.a. taxpayers. I don't know what you think, Dennis, but I pay taxes too.
Sure.
So does John. But this was if you talk about, the biggest surprise, there was a lot of surprises. The best part, we had a lot of things like that. The biggest crock of nothing was when they threw the legend out of the SEC media days. Why in the world is that on AL.com?
Yeah, I agree.
Who
makes that job?
I mean,
he makes that a big deal.
Why did he get in the first place? He says, Barry, I'm the biggest fan out there. It ain't about fans.
I might have seen maybe 3 people in the lobby, with some T-shirt representing a school, but I do like the fact it got way out of hand in Birmingham. I like how they reeled it in. Dennis, I hate to rain on your parade, but
it ain't
they've
going
done
to be,
a good job about controlling that. All right. Barry, what do you say we take a quick break? Rodney Orr is in the green room. The Tighter Insider will join us when we return.
It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Have to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got you, Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
Prattville Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Prattville Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet.
All righty, welcome back in, everybody. Kicking off hour number 2. And, of course, Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, brought to you exclusively by our friends at the Destin Connection Seafood Market here in Montgomery, where they've been bringing trucks up daily from the Gulf of America for the past 32 years. Fresh Gulf seafood, fresh shrimp in all sizes, crab meat, oysters, and all varieties of fish. Also, a full-service kitchen. Call 334-288-4272 or go by 3750 Norman Bridge Road for the Destin Connection. Good morning, Rodney. How you doing today?
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Doing well. We were able to get back from SEC Media Days. We were there for Auburn Day 2 days ago. Alabama yesterday. Do you get the opportunity? I know you've been before. You've been a good bit. Do you get the opportunity? Do you see the opportunity at SEC Media Days to really learn anything new or really glean any, make any conclusions about Alabama or any of the other teams out there?
You know, honestly, I went for several years when it was in Hoover.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I thought it was, for me, it was just more of an opportunity to see media people that I haven't bumped into in a while. And they congregated out in the concourse and, you know, everybody gave their opinions and so forth, which was great. But I never really, I don't think I ever really gleaned anything in particular that stood out, to be honest with you guys. I mean, I think it's pretty bland for the most part. And then, you know, there's some exceptions, but for the most part, it was pretty bland to me.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, Rodney, because Barry and I were just talking about the same thing. I mean, we found over the 30 years that just the friendships, the relationships that we've built through media days and seeing these people again and talking and whatnot is certainly, I enjoy it. But,
Sure.
You know, getting earth-shattering news, maybe a feel. I mean, yesterday with Kalen DeBoer, I kind of got the feel that, you know, maybe, or maybe from other people as well, that maybe Keelan Russell's got a little edge and he, you know, is going to take the first snap against East Carolina. Nobody said that. It wasn't announced, just kind of a feeling that I got. And then physicality, that's been the big key throughout the offseason. And when preseason camp rolls around, this team wants to get more physical. And you know, Rodney, you just can't snap your finger and get physical. You got to practice it. You got to teach it. And I'm looking for this Alabama team to be a more physical team than they were last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that certainly was the mindset over the offseason to kind of move towards that. I did think, I don't know the word defensive is the way to put it, but DeBoer made it clear that you just don't accidentally go 7-1 in the SEC and play in the SEC championship game and win a playoff game without having some degree of physicality in your program. I thought he tried to make that clear, that point. That stood out to me. And again, I'm not saying it was a defensive manner in which he stated it, but I think, you know, clearly that's an area where they've worked on, that they're emphasizing. And I actually did a piece earlier this week, and I'm sure Barry will allude to it later. He normally does, about the, you know, kind of comparing this to the '89 season, but and things with that team. But yeah, I think that certainly, John, has been a really big point of emphasis. I mean, let's just be honest. They were physically embarrassed by Indiana. And it wasn't just Indiana. Georgia did the same thing in the SEC championship game. In fact, I'll just say this. I think Kirby took it easy on them. Kirby was just trying to get out of there with a win. It was a 28-7 game, and Kirby could have probably made it 42-7 had he wanted to. But he was just trying to get out of there without screwing it up.
Now, I'm not asking you to support this statement or defend it or add on to it even, but I would like to know your thoughts about this. Yesterday, when we were down in Tampa, we had on live defensive back Zabian Brown. He joined us for about 12 minutes or so. And the last question asked, and John asked it, was, give me somebody that you think it could be a real breakout person, somebody that the fans may not be considering necessarily, but could really make a big impact on this football team. Rodney Zabian thought about it for a moment. He took about 5 seconds, thought about it, and then leaned back, and he looked up at the ceiling, and he says, we got this freshman running back, obviously talking about EJ Crowell. What I'm not asking you, A, do you agree with Zabian Brown or not? His thoughts are his own, but I'm just asking you if he has a chance.
Definitely has a chance. And the thing is that EJ didn't really get to participate much in spring practice. So, he's got some catching up to do due to the injury in August, and he's supposed to be ready to go. And I think, when you look at Alabama's running back room, I almost wonder how much he kind of motivated those other guys, his presence, because I'm telling you, Daniel Hill, he looked like a different kind of guy physically in the spring when I saw him. I mean, trim for 225 pounds now, whatever. He's lost 20 pounds. And I thought his feet looked much quicker. I thought Kevin Riley looked bigger and great quickness. But Crowell certainly has those tools. I mean, he's 220 pounds. He's got speed. He's got power. He's got hands. He's got all the things that you look for. He's hard to tackle. You watch him on tape. He just sheds tacklers. A strong kid. So I think he brings a lot of those great qualities that we've seen from past Alabama backs. Now, again, the question is, how quickly can he adjust or learn the system, do the things without the football that he has to do? But I think Crowell could be a guy. Now, he could be a guy that as this season goes along, and we've talked about how the schedule sets up well and allows Alabama to develop what I believe is those first 5 games. There's going to be a lot of competition, but it's going to allow Alabama some time to develop. And Crowell could be one of those guys that by the time they come out of that first 5 games, he could start to emerge really as a strong contributor.
Obviously the offensive line has been a big topic of conversation. There's some transfer guys coming in. I heard somebody say, and I don't think, maybe 10, 15 years ago, this was valid, but today I don't think it is as much. Well, these guys are coming in from schools I've never heard of before, or Mississippi State that's not any good, or it's out on the West Coast, or whatever it may be. So be it. These guys are coming in. They're transferring in. They needed to make some moves along that O-line. DeBoer knew it. What are your thoughts about these offensive linemen that have transferred in?
Well, the ones that I think probably have the best opportunities to contribute, on a significant level this year, you're talking about Rayson Delgatti at center, who has nearly 1,400 snaps. You're talking about Javen James, who started 9 games in the SEC at left tackle at Mississippi State. That experience, I think, is a lot better than having a young sophomore out there, a freshman that doesn't have any experience. These guys are 20, 21, maybe 22. And their experience, their physical growth, development is just on a higher level than a younger, inexperienced player that hasn't been in the program or hasn't been on the college level or has very limited experience. Think about that. That's something Indiana, look, people try to excuse Indiana and say, well, Mark Cuban paid for that roster. That was not a highly touted roster that they had last year. They had one player, Mendoza. He was not even that. He was heavily pursued, but he wasn't considered a high first-round draft pick by most people before he got to Indiana. So here's what I'm saying. What they did is they got experienced players that were developed on this level that came in. He brought a lot of those guys from James Madison. That experience, John and Barry, and that physical maturity, I think, means a ton. Now, am I saying that Alabama's going to have a dominant offensive line? No, I'm not. But I do think, yes, it is important.
Well, when I think my point needs to be made that when you talk about physicality and the absence of it last year on the Alabama offensive line, people are pointing to a lack of physical conditioning or a lack of strength. I don't think that was the case. Do you? I think David Ballou has done his job in the strength and conditioning department, right?
Listen, I don't think there's any doubt about that. there's only so much a strength coach can do. His job is to prepare the players physically, but also mentally. Sure,
that's a big part of it. Yeah,
yeah, but having them physically ready to play strong, conditioned. I don't think there's any doubt that he does a really, really good job at that. And the nutrition that they have, the programs that they have, I don't think it had anything to do with that.
Okay.
I think it had to do with just the mindset. I think it had to do with, to some extent, scheme. And I'm not trying to get into schemes or anything like that, but I think it, coaching. I think a lot of that contributed to where they were. You've got two guys off that offensive line. Caden Proctor was a first-round draft pick. Parker Brailsford. Both those guys right now are projected to start as rookies potentially in the NFL. They had and Wilkin Formby, whatever people want to say. I know he was criticized a lot. Texas A&M paid a lot of money for him to come be their starting right tackle. LSU offered him a lot of money. Ole Miss, when Kiffin was there, offered him a lot to go over there. So I'm just saying they had guys that other people respected as potential talents. I just don't think they did a really good job with that group up front last year. And guess what? Kalen DeBoer obviously felt the same way. That's why he made some coaching changes and some moves that he's made.
Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, joining us here today as he does each and every Thursday. Brought to you by the Destin Connection Seafood Market here in Montgomery, where they've been bringing fresh seafood up daily from the Gulf of America for the past 32 years. Fresh shrimp in all sizes, crab meat, oysters, and a large variety of fish. Also a full-service kitchen. Call ahead. Your order will be ready for pickup. 288-4272. Rodney, listening to Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer, the players that were in Tampa yesterday, do you think they tipped their hand on who the starting quarterback is going to be for the Tide this year?
John, and I heard your comment, and, you were, again, I didn't hear it all. So I really, from what I heard and from what I listened to, here's what I think. I think the guy that takes the first snap versus East Carolina might not be the same guy that takes the first snap or is a starter come game 5 or 6. I mean, I just don't know. I do think that, obviously Austin Mack's really talented. He's big. He's got a strong arm. He moves pretty decent for his size too. And I think he's got a great understanding of the offense. From what I've heard, he manages things extremely well. Keelan Russell is an elite talent. How much does Keelan Russell have a grasp of the offense? How does he manage it? Does he minimize mistakes? Does he put the team in the best position to have success by the way he manages things? I don't know that yet. We'll see what happens. I think this is going to go to early in the season. Both guys are going to play, and we'll see how it kind of unfolds. But it would not surprise me if the guy who starts the first game isn't the guy who's the starter by the middle part of the season.
So you're not thinking Blake Barnett 2 series and then Jalen Hurts takes it over from that point on?
No. I don't think it'd be like that. But I do think both guys are going to play early.
And that's an interesting point. Because you mentioned the first 5 games are going to find out a lot about themselves. Why not give both of them, ample chances within, at least the first 2 or 3 to,
right.
To play it out because, it'll become obvious. I think you made the point before. In practice and everything, the players know who should be starting. The players know, who the best guys are. So, when it comes down to it, hopefully somebody will take the decision out of Kalen DeBoer's hands and make it easier and say, man, I got to play this guy,
And you said the players. And one thing I heard Zabian Brown say when he was asked about the quarterbacks, or I can't remember if it was Zabian Brown or if it was Ryan Coleman Williams, but I think it was Zabian. Uh-huh. He just said one guy, referring to Mac, he said one guy, we know he's not going to make a mistake. He makes great decisions. And the other guy's lightning in a bottle. And I think that's the way to describe them. I mean, I think that's where they are. And that's not diminishing Austin Mack's playmaking ability, nor is it saying that, Keelan Russell doesn't manage the offense very well, but it's just saying that's kind of where it is. And I think when you look at Keelan Russell, his potential is, again, does he reach it? Remains to be seen, but he's got off the charts potential.
Are we sure that when somebody said one guy is very steady, makes good decisions, the other guy's lightning in the bottle, were they talking about Keelan Russell and Austin Mack, or were they talking about Longshore and McKnight? I want to make sure we get that clarified. Right?
Well, so if I was going to say that, no, I don't want to get into that. You guys go ahead.
It's interesting, Barry Broth. We were talking to Marty Smith while we were in Tampa, and Marty looked at Barry and says, "Man, your voice, it is just, incredible." I said, "Well, that's why he's silk and I'm sandpaper." And we've had that label for almost 30 years. What about defense? I got a better feeling. I've been kind of looking for an alpha dog on defense. Bray Hubbard and Xavier Brown that were there yesterday, and talking about some of the guys, Pierre that's on the defensive side that's going to be a pass rush phenom. And even heard Coach Saban say it yesterday. I think they feel really good about the defense.
Well, yeah. And I think you said alpha dog, or you kind of alluded to that.
Mm-hmm.
You said Bray Hubbard, you said Xavier Brown. Of course, they were there representing, so that naturally you would say that. Yep. But what about the front seven guy? Alabama's got to start having some alphas in the front seven. They've got to have some guys on the interior part of the defensive line start making plays, taking games over. Inside backer is a question. Now, Yanze Pierre and Justin Hill, who's really technically Pierre's backup, those two guys look like they can be alphas. I mean, the pass rush, the things those guys can do. I think it's going to be really important that Alabama's defensive line take a big step this year. They went out, they added some size with Terrence Green and with Devin Tompkins, some experience there as well. I think it's time for those guys. You went and got those guys, but some of the younger players that they have, they have some potential. Those guys got to start stepping up. Yeah. They've been in the program long enough now to be starting to make stronger contributions. So I think the defensive line, they've got to find some alphas up in that group.
But Rodney, you've been talking about the defensive line for years now. I mean, I don't want to say it's a concern, but I know it's an area that you have discussed and emphasized a lot on this program.
Well, I mean, I just think that, that they've been solid. They've been good at times. They flashed at times. I think it's consistency. I think that, too, this defense has to get better. I spit out statistics or whatever. It really doesn't matter. When teams line up and have gotten physical with them, as they did last year, whether it was Georgia in that second game in the rematch, the Indiana game, other game, teams that get physical with them have run the football effectively. They've got to get better against the run.
Well, let me ask you about this real quick, just because it was top of my mind as a kid from a program I'm really familiar with over at Central in Phoenix City. Red Morgan's been productive at that Husky spot. Is there still more for him? I mean, has he reached his ceiling? Is this Red Morgan's time now, Rodney?
Look, I think last year, the way he improved down the stretch, second half of the season, he was a really, really good player. I like Red Morgan. I think it is his time to really kind of start to stand out even more.
Yeah.
And I think, listen, one thing about it is he's got a lot of great players around him in that secondary. Xavier Brown, Dejon Lee, Sab's really experienced. We know about Bray Hubbard. And they've got some backup guys. They're not shy about shuffling players in the secondary. So yes, I think Red Morgan based on what we saw the last half of last season, is a guy that he's got a chance to be a standout player this year.
Yeah, he's got a great name too. He's got that going for him.
I thought the quote of the day, guys, I don't know about you if you saw it or not, but Bray Hubbard said, I'm not trying to be cocky or anything, but I'm a great player.
I heard about that. We saw Bray, and the first thing I thought about, we didn't get a chance to interview him. We were interviewing Xavier. I didn't realize he was that big. I mean, he is a big DB. And as far as, what the quote was, Rodney, you want somebody to feel that way about themselves, right? You want that type of swagger, I guess, right?
I look at Bray Hubbard, and he came in. He even said yesterday he came in at, I think, 183 pounds, and now he's 213.
Ooh, yeah.
He's gotten a lot bigger, obviously, like you said. He just sounds and looks Mississippi tough.
No doubt.
I love it.
Where in Mississippi is he from, Rodney?
He's from the coast area.
Yeah.
And if I'd have known if you hadn't asked me.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm on it.
I knew it was some small town in South
and off the top of my head,
I supposed to play baseball.
He was committed to Southern Miss.
Yeah, he's from Ocean Springs.
Ocean
right
Springs,
down there by, Pascagoula,
it's
Biloxi.
right there by Biloxi.
Yeah. He it's an interesting story because I still remember where I was when he committed. I was sitting in the parking lot of a grocery store, and somebody texted me and said, "Hey, this guy that was at camp yesterday that ran a 4.4 that's committed to play baseball." He said Saban's taking him as a safety, and Saban called him into his office after he watched him in camp and said, "Hey, you can play for us. Do you want to go to Southern Miss and play baseball, or do you want to come here to Alabama and play football?" And he switched to Alabama. And, look, when he got on the field, when he had to step in 2024, he did a fantastic job, and he is really, really developed into a fantastic player.
Saban talked about that yesterday. I don't know if you heard his take on him, but he mentioned the same thing. Comes to camp. The guy played maybe quarterback in high school, but he was going to play baseball. And Saban said, if we can just get this guy to learn how to tackle, we're going to have us a defensive back. And obviously he learned how to tackle.
He did.
He was a highly productive high school quarterback. I mean, he put up a lot of big numbers, running, throwing. He was a great athlete, just faster than everybody on the field. But yes, he came in, and Saban, they were really impressed with him at camp. And, sometimes you get a guy like that and you say, okay, why are they taking him? You've got all these 5 stars that you bring in. Will this guy ever play?
Yeah.
And man, John Barry, here's the thing. He prepared for his opportunity, and when it came, he was ready.
Chris the Bammer on our River Region Straw guest chat line says he reminds him of Tommy Wilcox. Would you agree?
Is that
that's really funny because let me tell you what, a lot of people have made that comparison. So Gary Harris, who does TITV with me, Gary reached out to Tommy and said, "Hey, Tommy, this guy reminds me of you." And he goes, "I'd like for you to hook up with him and meet him." So they arranged for it through the media relations, of course.
Oh, wow. For
Tommy and Bray to go out and get to know each other. So that's funny that this comparison's made by Chris
the Bammer is who he goes.
Chris the Bammer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Tommy's actually met with Bray.
Love it.
Now I know we're running late on time, so we can't go down memory lane with Tommy Wilcox, but maybe next week, Rodney. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I could tell you some great stories on Tommy. He's a friend of mine, and he shared a lot of stories when he was here. So,
man, next
week, he almost left. I tell you what, you can save this for next week.
Yeah,
right. He almost left. He almost left before his redshirt freshman year. He did leave. He went back home.
Yeah,
Coach Bryant went and got him. I'll tell you that story next week.
Oh, that's a tease. Rodney knows the business. I love it.
Stay tuned, folks.
Next week.
That's a preview of next week's episode.
Yes. That's like they used to have on Knots Landing at the very end. Coming up next week.
Yeah.
I love it.
On Dallas, we'll find out who shot JR next week.
Yeah, that went on forever.
Yeah, boy.
TighterInsider.com. Now that, SEC Media Days is upon us, it's going to really start. I guess the kinder round's pretty much over with, getting ready for the season. A lot going on the website, Rodney. Tell people how they can access it all.
John and Barry, I want to tell you, it's probably as lively on Tighter Insider's All Sports Forum as it's been in a while. People got complacent under Saban because of the winning. Well, they're not bored anymore. Trust me. They're coming out from under the rocks. I mean, but anyway, that said, yes.
You're spot on, Rodney. I'm telling you, I read it multiple times a day. It's awesome.
Yeah. So they're riled up now. So it's TighterInsider.com. It's only $48 a year, and you can get access right now with your credit card. It gives you all the premium information, but also, like I said, our community there, the All Sports Forum, it's rocking and rolling.
It is. Rodney, as always, we greatly appreciate your time and input. Thank you so much for being on with us. Looking forward to next week.
All right, guys. We'll talk about Tommy Wilcox next week.
Love it. Rodney, as always, much appreciated.
Take care, guys.
You, buddy. Yeah. Thank you, buddy. All right, Rodney Orr brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market for 32 years. Fresh Gulf seafood arriving daily at the Destin Connection at 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call ahead. Your order will be ready for pickup. 334-288-4272. Fresh Gulf shrimp in all sizes, oysters, a variety of fresh fish. You name it, it is there. They also have a full-service kitchen. They can prepare your seafood if you like. It is that simple. It's the best. David and his crew do a fabulous job at the Destin Connection Seafood Market.
More to come in just a moment. It's Longshore McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information. Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with one of their clinics and take advantage of physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solution services. Get back in the game, get back to work, and get back to life with Phoenix Physical Therapy. To find a location near you and to schedule an appointment, go to phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. That's phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. Hey, you want your property looking its very best this spring and summer, and River Region Straw has premium long needle pine straw to make that property pop. You're not buying sticks, stems, or pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the region, full of color that will last all season long. And now River Region Straw has a fourth location in Chelsea on Highway 280 to go along with their locations here in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn. No order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. To get your River Region Straw, drop by any of their 4 locations or give Kenny a call or text today. 669-5959. That's 669-5959. And have the best looking property this spring and summer with straw from River Region Straw. All righty, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us. About 27 minutes at the top of the hour. I want to give a big shout out, Barry, a listener all the way from Costa Rica today, sending a picture
to me, letting me know that we're coming in loud and clear
Nice.
down there in Central America. And we really appreciate them starting their day with Longshore and McKnight. A picture of us on the screen, Barry, and the beautiful Pacific Ocean in the background. I mean, folks, love it. If you're ever out and about, on vacation, out of town, you're checking us out, send us a picture. We'd love to see where you're watching and listening to this great program, wherever you may be.
Right. And when you're here, when you're with us, do like one of our chatters said just a little while ago. Come on, fellas, hit that like button.
Come on.
Hit that subscribe button. Yeah, Motide Pride says, everybody who hasn't, please hit the like button and notification. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes.
Hit the like button. Do all that kind of stuff. I like the chat line going through with our guests and adding, stuff on there. We were talking before with Rodney about the quarterback race.
Mm-hmm.
John, does that make will we have a daily dog today?
Oh, yeah. Well, go right ahead. Keep going.
All right.
Yes, we will, but I don't want you to lose your train of thought.
First 5 games for Alabama: East Carolina, Kentucky on the road, Florida State, South Carolina, and at Mississippi State. Rodney says both of those quarterbacks, Russell and Mack, are going to play. They're going to get their chance. They're going to have their opportunities, and let's see which one of them plays the best. Turns the ball over less, which makes sense. I mean, don't name a starter and by gosh, thick or thin, he's going to be that guy. Let him play it out. Let him compete for the job in real game situations, right?
Right.
Now, Tobias says this, and I don't know about this.
This is great.
He says the comp for Bama quarterback race, the comparison, the comp for the Bama quarterback race is Alex Smith and Mahomes.
Uh-huh.
Smith won a lot of games for the Chiefs, but was a limited playmaker. Insert Mahomes, and he elevated everyone around him. Exclamation point. All right, Tobias, clarification, please. Is Austin Mack, Alex Smith, or Patrick Mahomes in this comparison? Because number one, Alex Smith, he was the number 1 overall pick one year, more than anybody else out of Utah.
Yep.
And, he bounced around a little bit. Of course, he broke his leg horribly, and I thought his career was over. He actually came back. He was a good player. Now, was he as good as Mahomes? Duh, no, he was not. Are you saying that Keelan Russell is Mahomes? I don't know that you can't put that on him, Ricky Bobby. You can't.
Yeah.
And let's not have that. Let's tap the brakes just a little bit.
And quarterbacks do make mistakes. We've seen that before. And Tobias has a comment about quarterbacks making mistakes.
Saying a quarterback doesn't make mistakes is like a friend trying to hook me up with a woman who's a 6, but they say she's a nice woman. Give me the hot chick every day and twice on Sunday. She can be nice too. Don't get me wrong.
That's kind of like, hey man, I got a really fun girl for you to go out with. Fun's the key. Fun or cute? Hot or fun? Fun means a girl that'll keep you out till 3 a.m, drink you under the table, and want you to take her to Whataburger drive-through. Yeah.
No.
I'm with you, Tobias. Give me cute, hot,
well,
the whole deal. I don't
like me with
fun
nice
girl.
woman and hot. So.
She can be fun, but she's got to be hot and cute too. Not just fun.
Now, my wife is beautiful.
Yeah.
She's also the smartest woman I ever met in my life. So you can have them both.
Yeah, you can.
But I gotta say no to that. You gotta give me a good woman.
Yeah, well, yeah, true. But I mean, it's like
because you have said this before. It is not necessarily your experience, but your observation among people around you.
Correct.
That sometimes that hot woman ain't worth the trouble,
I'll tell you the best
that girl's a lot.
The best way to explain it. Go to YouTube and look up Club Pro Guy and the episode about how to pick your member guest partner. Because it starts talking about the partner and does he have a bogus handicap that can be to your advantage? You go through all that. Then he gets to the wife and he starts talking about your playing partner's wife, which is interesting. Or you can YouTube the guy that does the graph, the matrix about
hotness versus niceness. I haven't seen the graph, but I kind of
it is.
On
the
that.
guy looks like an English teacher in high school. He's got like a clip-on tie with a short sleeve dress shirt, and he's got this graph, and he's explaining hot and nice and blah, all this kind of stuff. And he, if you get one that's really hot and she's smart and she doesn't know, that's a unicorn. You got to snatch her up as quick as you can. But I hear what you're saying. My only key is if somebody goes, hey, I want you to go out with this person, they're really fun. If that's all they say, your expectations might need to be lowered a little bit when you go ring the doorbell and she says hello to you after like she smokes 3 packs a day. Just saying.
This is all very, very shallow. I disagree. With that.
All right. So
hang on real quick. Just for clarification. This won't take but a moment. This guy?
That guy.
Okay. All right.
The fun zone.
I had to hunt for it real quick. Okay.
Yeah. That's the one.
Fun zone, no go, hot. Okay. All right.
That's the one you got. Okay. I don't know what the title of that YouTube video is, but it's real.
Tobias says, Barry, he says the strong 6 has no choice but to be nice. All right. We got to get to the Phantom's Daily Dog before we get into the logic.
I'm gonna look. When we get off the air, I'm gonna watch that again. It is so good.
Okay.
And the guy's so straight faced. He's not trying to be funny. I mean, he is, but his demeanor never.
Very deadpan.
Yeah, he's like he's an English professor. It's classic. All
right.
Hot Crazy Matrix. That's it. Okay, that's exactly.
All right, here we go. All right,
Crazy
Phantom's
Matrix.
Daily Dog. Has the Phantom been hot? Has the Phantom been crazy?
Yeah,
let's find out.
Barry, we were doing pretty well. Had a winner on. I get my days mixed up. I think we were 2-0 going into yesterday.
Life was good. Sunshine. Birds were singing.
That's
life
right.
was good. Oh.
Speaking of 2-0, Barry, we were up 2-0 at the bottom of the first inning yesterday. We're going, man, this is great. This is fantastic. We're up. We take a 2-0 lead right out of the gate. Get things, set the tone.
I'm waiting for the but
it was tied up at the bottom of the 5th, and then the Dodgers took a 2-run lead in the top of the 6th, and then they tacked on 4 more in the top of the 8th. And I'm thinking, what in the world is going on here?
Or when it went south,
it did.
It went south in a hurry.
Big time.
Final score in that one, in the marquee game, really, of the month so far.
Yeah.
What was the final?
9-4.
9.
9-5.
9-5. Yeah, 9-5.
Yeah.
Dodgers.
Not working 9 to 5, as Dolly Parton sang, but that was the score. All right. So time to move on.
Yeah.
So
today, by the way, if we're going Major League Baseball, don't forget the Braves and the Padres play in the ATL at 11:15 Central Time this morning.
Glad you mentioned that, Barry.
Early.
There's only 5 games tonight, or today. There is no game tonight. Every game starts before 6 p.m. today.
You're right.
I don't know if there's. I don't know what is World Cup soccer on tonight. I mean, what's going on in prime time tonight? But 11:15 is the first start. We got a 12:10, a 2:07, a 4:15, and a 5:40.
Yes.
Today, Barry, you better get down early because we've got Griffin Canning going up against Chris Sale at 11:15 at Truist Park. The Braves are a huge favorite in this game, minus 251.
Well, that's because Chris Sale is the man. He's 10-6. He's got 123 strikeouts.
Okay.
Averaging Cy Young Award winner. Guy's a dude.
Dude, I don't know a lot about Griffin Canning.
No,
I hope he's not throwing a bunch of gopher balls up there for guys to knock them out of the park, because we're taking under 8.5 runs today, Barry. I think Chris Sale can really mow down these Padre batters. We're going under 8.5. It's early, folks. You got to get out on this one quick, because it's
maybe they're not
11:15.
woken up good or anything like that.
Is that 11:15 Eastern or Central? I think
11:15 Central Time, 12:15 Atlanta time.
All right. I don't know, John from Wetumpka, if the stands are going to be full for a noon game in Atlanta on a Thursday. I'm sure I'll hear some excuse why.
Yeah.
But that's the game we're taking.
When we come back, it is the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel, and it's coming up. It's our Thursday show, Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light! Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here! Oh, Bud Light there! I missed that because of you! You did not miss that play because of me! Have to stop talking this way? Yeah! It's actually kind of fun. Hey,
I got your Bud Light.
Oh, nice. Never mind! Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light.
What'd I miss?
I have no idea.
Chances are there's a pack nearby. Fortunately, the same applies to beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. To avoid going in circles, make note of recognizable landmarks, like that.
What's wrong with going in circles?
Different circles, Ross.
Okay.
Head for the mountains.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us here. Hey, tomorrow at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Prattville, where Price sells cars, the 4th of July summer savings sales event still going on. We're still in the month of July, so take advantage of it, particularly as we're getting close to the end of the month. So we'll be telling you about all the great deals at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram tomorrow in Prattville. If you're out that way, come by and see us. We'd love to see you, and we'd love to see you in a new Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram vehicle from our friends at Stivers in Prattville.
Making a return after 2 days on hiatus because of our full coverage of SEC Media Days, which does continue.
Yes,
the
it does.
Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel, brought to you by Victoryland 777 Casino, where I'm telling you, they've got a lot of things going on. Promotions in July, the TV hot seat, the diamond hot seat. Oh my gosh, Diamond Day, all this kind of stuff.
Barry, they are giving away a lot of great prizes out at Victoryland over the next month to 6 weeks. And of course, you need to be at Victoryland to check it all out, because I'm telling you, there are a lot of great things you're going to want to be a part of there at Victoryland. Over 40 years of winners, 40 years at Victoryland, and you can be a winner too. The TV hot seat, man, they're doing that on TV Tuesdays, giving away TVs each and every Tuesday in the month of July. Also, the diamond hot seat, they're giving away diamonds as well on Fridays throughout the month of July. A lot of free play as well. So win free diamonds, win free televisions. They got a big giveaway coming up next month we're going to be telling you about as well. But they're making winning every day at Victoryland, where you can be a winner too.
A lot of free play being given away as well. Exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama. Victoryland open 24/7. Win your share of over $185,000 in free play at Victoryland Casino.
Well, we've got the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. 6 subjects. No idea what they are. No idea about any of it. Curated by Gurn Jr., brought to you by Victoryland 777 Casino. Let's see if we can throw it up on the screen and get it going.
Let's see what we got.
Oh, maybe not.
I see it in the green room.
Here we go. Yeah, there it is. All right, there we go. Okay. No idea what they are. Love the titles. I love the title of the show today, The Family. A lot of our guys think you spelled it wrong because there's no B in it. Streak is over. Yep. This happened yesterday. The Boston Red Sox had a doubleheader yesterday. They had won 14 games in a row. They played against the Orioles on the road. They won their first game of the doubleheader to win 15 in a row, but they lost the nightcap against the Orioles. That was a great ride, a 15-game winning streak. That is now a club record. That matches the club record. Boston in 1946, that great Red Sox team that played for the American League pennant but lost to the Cardinals in the World Series with Ted Williams and Dom DiMaggio and Rudy York and Bobby Doerr, and man, I can just go on and on about that 846 team. That is the best winning streak in the majors in 5 years. And again, it was a Red Sox team who wasn't doing anything, but all good things must come to an end. The Red Sox trying to get another winning streak started. They don't play today, but they're back again tomorrow.
Well, and just for the record, Barry, Tampa Bay's won 3 in a row. They're leading the American League Eastern Division by 2.5 games. I saw them win one of those games big time the other night.
That's not the most noteworthy thing that they've won 3 in a row. They have been playing so well that John watched them for 4 innings.
I did. I sure did. I did. That's true.
I find it hard to believe.
I will say this, Barry. I was having dinner. I sat at the bar having dinner. The TV was on behind the bar, above the liquor display.
Yeah, Amanda was behind the bar over at the Pearl, and she was taking care of John. Life was good.
It was good.
And he said, hey, can you turn up that Rays game just a little bit, please? It's awesome.
And it was good. 4 full innings. Most baseball I've watched all year. It's great.
Okay. Yep. There we go. All right. 1 down on the topic wheel.
Yeah. That's
one down. Let's light it up again.
See what we got here. Yep. Well, knowing what we're up against here. We're learning on the fly here with the dun.
That. I'm not sure.
What could this be?
Yeah. This is you pronounce the subject heading like dun. Bump, bump, like you're on the cello. 10-foot great white shark. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. Don't run it. Man, there ain't no way.
We talked about this. I do enjoy swimming in the ocean.
I do too. Nope.
I don't think I've ever seen a shark near me when I've swam in the ocean.
Otherwise, you would no longer be swimming.
Certainly something like that. But, Barry, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I heard something on some radio broadcast. There's like maybe 20 people that are attacked by a shark worldwide in a year. I mean, the numbers, I think the news media, I don't want to say, glorifies it. Like, oh, gee whiz, look at this, and puts this fear in everybody's mind that, I'm going to get bitten by a shark when only 20 people worldwide in a year are attacked by a shark. I thought that. No, I said, really? Just 20? That's unbelievable.
I remember it was 2 years ago. Lulu Gribben, she got attacked by a shark down at Walton County, and she was only 15. She's still with us. She actually spoke at Troy a couple of weeks ago. Super sharp young lady, left hand, right leg. No longer there. And the deal
I'm not trying to discount them, but it does happen.
Yeah.
But I just think, it's like this, Barry. If there's an airplane incident and it's all over the place, and I'm thinking,
there's like 5,000 people that are going to get killed in a car crash today.
Yeah.
Worldwide. But the sensationalism of, oh, well, this plane hit something or whatever, it's horrific. We don't want to hear it or see it, but it's still the safest way to travel.
The deal with Lulu Gribben is that, she was out there. She was in shallow water in Walton County, and the shark came by and got her. I mean, she's fine now, and she's making a great thing with her life. But she found out later that only just like a few minutes before, another lady just down the beach a little bit had gotten bitten by that shark. And Lulu said, if I had known that, I would never been out in the water.
Sure.
So they passed a law now to basically to say that, hey, a shark constitutes an emergency alert thing. You can get out an alert on your phone or whatever saying, hey, a lady was bitten by a shark 9 miles down the beach. Everybody get off the beach.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it took something like that to happen, but yeah, that's a little creepy on that one right there. Those kids just out there and their little fun boards, and here comes a shark.
Yeah, that's when you might want to, go somewhere else. All right, 4 to go.
Yes,
it's going to land in the blue. Cheap digs. Cheap digs.
That means wait a minute. Thrift store.
Man.
A Wilt Chamberlain jacket at a thrift store.
Okay. $3.
All right. He was 7'1", about 290 pounds. Did you know? You had to know that was Wilt's. I mean, a thrift reseller paid $3.07. That's with tax.
Yeah.
At Goodwill in California. And research showed that it belonged to Wilt Chamberlain back in '72 when the Lakers won the NBA championship. It sold for $89,600.
Wow.
I love Wilt. I can tell you all you want to know about Wilt Chamberlain. He's from Philadelphia, Overbrook High School, played at Kansas. Why in the world would somebody pay $89,600 for a warm-up just because Shane Chamberlain sweated in it?
I'm with you, Barry. Athletic memorabilia, people pay big money for it. I don't get it. I'm with you. I don't get it. Does he think he's going to resell it later on for more?
Quinn Brown.
Tax. I thought that too, Theotis. Do they charge tax at Goodwill? I guess.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They do.
I'm
a big thrift store guy.
Oregon only has 7% sales tax? Wow. Okay, 3 to go.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, Wilt is no longer with us, by the way. Maybe that has something to do with the value of it.
Maybe what he did off the court makes the value of that jacket a bit larger.
Yeah, he sweated in that jacket. He sweated in a lot of jackets. He sweated out of a lot of jackets, too. I mean, big mistake.
Big mistake.
Oh, boy. This could be, I can name 500,000 in my life. Okay, they had a press conference for LeBron James link.
Yep.
And it was posted by the Miami Heat. Saying LeBron James introductory press conference, July 27th, to its YouTube channel. Now, the spokesperson told Shams Charania on Tuesday that the club's social media department was preparing for the possibility of LeBron James signing and mistakenly posted the link to the team's YouTube page. The post was later. Can you imagine how the excrement must have hit the oscillator when everybody's like, whoa, the Heat is signing LeBron James. They've got a link for the press conference up. It's happening. People, it's happening. Oh, sorry. My bad. Didn't mean that. Somebody in social media just lost their job, John.
Yeah, I think Adam Schefter even said something about him going to Miami. I thought he was an NFL guy, not an NBA guy, huh? Okay. 2 more to go. The LeBron sweepstakes. We'll keep an eye out on that, see where he ends up. Why Miami? Ain't he from Cleveland? Why don't I go back to Cleveland? But who wants to go to Cleveland?
Money. You know the answer. I can't believe you even asked that, John.
I hear you. Seems like he's got enough. Gee whiz. Okay.
Play in Sacramento if they paid him enough. Deadline.
What do we got? What is it?
All right. Trade deadline's coming up. It's at the end of the month. It's always at the end of the month, July 31st. Tariq Skubal with the Tigers. Aroldis Chapman, who has played in 7 million games. He's about 40. He throws 100 miles an hour. He's having a great year for the Red Sox. And Luis Arias. These are all guys I mean, well, anyway, Chapman and Arias, who have all played for quite a few teams. Arias has led the National League in hitting a couple of times. Those are the big names. Skubal is a terrific left-handed pitcher. Chapman's a left-handed reliever. I'm telling you, if you're left-handed and you can throw 80 miles an hour and you got a pulse, somebody's going to give you a shot.
Are the Braves going to give anybody a shot?
Well, let's scroll down here on that.
Yeah,
Since you're doing this, Gurn, let's see. Reds, Yankees, Tigers, anything with the Braves, Angels, will they do this? Padres, blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, nothing about the Braves. They're evidently happy with tottering down the stretch and stumbling and falling on their face and getting up and trying to run forward. It's like some of those people in the marathon trying to get to the finish line. Braves currently
4-game lead.
Yep. 6-4 in their last 10, which is good considering the Phillies got stoned by the Dodgers over the weekend.
They certainly
And the
did.
Miami Marlins have fallen off the face of the earth.
We just need a low-scoring game today, Braves fans. That's
all we're asking. Get it over early.
Yep, that's right.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
One more to go. Got to spin it to make it official. Let's see what we've got here. The last on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel is still waiting.
We're waiting. Miss it. Oh, yeah. Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall pick. Whenever he won the ESPY for something, I didn't watch it. He said, "Go Raiders." He still hasn't signed. He's got it's a good situation for him. Kirk Cousins is the quarterback. Ty Simpson, by the way, is unsigned. Mendoza, all these guys, contract value, signing bonus, how much of their money is front loaded, how much of it is later on, offset language, it's all lawyerese, but here's the bottom line here. You want to know the bottom line? Here's
I do want to know the bottom line.
Mendoza's going to sign. He's going to sign for a lot of money. He's going to be in a great spot. He'll get to learn from Kirk Cousins, who's great, and he'll be a really good quarterback. Who were we talking to yesterday that says they think that Ty Simpson is going to be a great NFL? Oh, it was well, we'll talk with him tomorrow. It's actually somebody we already interviewed, but he said he thinks Ty Simpson's going to be fantastic as an NFL.
Yeah,
he hasn't signed yet. He needs to get in camp.
He certainly does. Yes. Tomorrow, you'll get to listen to our interview that we did with Ryan McGee of Marty and McGee. Also, Benjamin Watson of the SEC Network. We interviewed him. It was a really good interview. I think you'll enjoy both of those tomorrow. As we'll be from Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Prattville, where Price sells cars. Getting toward the end of the month, that means Advantage Car Buyer. We're going to tell you about all the great deals going on out at Stivers CDJR in Prattville tomorrow.
Many thanks for the time from our buddy Marty Smith from Marty and McGee on SEC Network. Our friend the Tider Insider, Rodney Orr, presented by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Our producer, Gurn Jr. For John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented